Hi there. So I'm going to start on page 179 for 5.9 individual activities. Officer on duty. You're the officer on duty to evaluate arguments. So for the problems on the next 2 pages, determine if the arguments are deductive or inductive, and then evaluate them in the appropriate column. Use the information below to help you as you evaluate the arguments. No key information has been ignored that would require a different conclusion. Okay, so I understand. So it's all about the same thing. So the weatherman said it would be sunny and warm all day today. So sunny and warm. The weatherman said. So, I mean, he's an expert on it, but it's not impossible that he's wrong. So he has a pretty good... Okay, so Missy Franklin and Allison Schmidt each won 5 gold medals in the 2012 Summer Olympics. Yep, that's an absolute. So I would say that that's an absolute. Okay, I mean, because you could look that up and prove it. Mark is an introvert. I mean, I would probably. So I don't think I really have to do anything with this. Just evaluate. Okay. Okay, I understand. So I could just do one at a time. So let's start with the weatherman said it would be sunny and warm all day today, which coincides with the weatherman said on the television that it is going to rain today. So it will rain today. I would say that that's going to be inductive because it's not impossible for him to be wrong, but it is strong because it's coming from a valid source and true premises. Key evidence ignored. No, I don't think that there was key evidence ignored, so I think it is a cognate argument. I don't feel extremely confident with this, but I'm just going to do my best. And I'm also using that chart that's on page 146 for the deductive and inductive, and looking at some of like the indicator words to help me if I feel a little bit stuck with those types of things. So, so 2 was the gold medals. All Olympic gold medalists are amazing athletes. Missy Franklin and Allison Schmidt from the United States each won 5 gold medals in the 2012 Summer Olympics. It follows that Missy Franklin and Allison Schmidt are amazing athletes. I mean... That's a really... I think I'm overthinking some of this, but correct me if I'm wrong. Amazing, like the denotation of amazing would coincide with anybody who out of all countries won 5 gold medals in the Summer Olympics. That's insane. Like, they won that, deeming that they were so I think that it really does coincide with the fact that they are amazing. They would have to be amazing in order to win the gold medal, which they did win 5 gold medals, indicating that they're amazing. So I'm having a hard time figuring out if it's deductive or inductive, but I just don't think that there's any other conclusion that's possible. But let's play devil's advocate here. If there was, it could be inductive if there was, the only possible thing I can think of is like if it was a cheating situation. So if they cheated to win those 5 gold medals, which I don't see how that's possible. But anyway, so let's just say that's what it was. So it's not impossible, because on page 146 it says that a deductive argument is going to be impossible for the conclusion to be false, and the conclusion is that they're amazing athletes. And so I'm going to just go with inductive because of what I've just said. So inductive, but I do think that they still have a strong and it's a true premises, it's a strong argument, and key evidence ignored that requires a different conclusion. Is it bad that I'm saying that it's inductive because they could have cheated, but then I'm saying no to key evidence being ignored? Key evidence ignored that requires a different conclusion. I guess I'll just say no, because they didn't ignore any evidence. There was no evidence of them cheating. So I would just say it's cognate. So let's just say that it was deductive because it was, but amazing is just such an opinionated statement. I can't say it's inductive or I can't say it's deductive because amazing is such an opinionated statement. The word amazing, at least. So I just, even talented. So talented athletes, yeah, I could probably go with deductive on that, but amazing, I can't put deductive because it's not impossible to, like, there's many different people who would, I can't. I don't know why. I might be wrong about it. I'm going to move on because that one's irritating me. Okay, so next one. Mark is an introvert. Coincides with Mark is an introvert, so Mark is a person who likes to be the life of every party. Well, introvert means that that would be an extrovert, so no, okay. So that's inductive, and it's weak, and the true premises is no. Key evidence ignored, yes, and it's not cognate. Okay, because introvert does not mean that. Okay, so 4. Klingons are a humanoid race, and Wookiees are large, hairy, primate-like creatures who are not humanoid. Frog dogs are separate species from Klingons and Wookiees. Okay. Alright, anyway. Either Wookiees are large, hairy, primate-like creatures, or Wookiees are frog dogs. Wookiees are not frog dogs, therefore Wookiees are large, hairy, primate creatures. I mean, I would go with deductive because it's impossible for it to be untrue, because they're only giving hairy primate-like creatures and frog dogs. So they're saying it can't be this, so it has to be this. Oh, you know what, though? I'm actually going to go with inductive, and I'll tell you why. Is because in this little data fact part, it talks about Klingons as well, which in the actual sentence, it says nothing about humanoid creatures or Klingons. So I think that it would be a key evidence ignored that requires a different conclusion. And I would say, yes, it was ignored. So I would say it's not cognate because there was a key piece of information ignored. So I would just say it's weak and that the premises are not true. I have a hard time telling the difference between some of this different categorizing of the premises, and I have a little bit of a hard time with that, but I'm gonna try to do my best and think through it. Okay, so next one. Martha Gellhorn, Marie Colvin, Christiane Amanpour, Janine, Kate, Maggie, Nima, Carl, Charlotte are very famous, accomplished war correspondents. Okay. Margaret Thatcher was the Prime Minister of Great Britain, so she must be a... Oh. I think it skipped one. Oh, maybe I skipped... Yeah, it got it mixed up. Okay. So I gotta skip down to 6. So since all of those women, blah, 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 are all famous and accomplished war correspondents, and since they are all women, it follows that women make excellent war correspondents. I just don't think that's sound. I think that that's silly. First of all, I don't think that I think that women were given that position because they weren't allowed to have other positions. So it fell mainly on women. And they were probably picked very carefully. I actually read this book. It was based on a true story about something in Paris, about a war correspondent. And it's insane the process that they had to go through to be picked for this type of position. So I would definitely say it's inductive because it's not impossible for that to be wrong. I think it's very probable that it's wrong because I think many, 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 many women would not be able to do this job as well as men not be able to do this job. I don't think it has anything to do with gender at all. Obviously, it's just a odd comment. So I'd say weak. Premises are not true. Key evidence ignored. Yes. And not cognate. Okay. So next one is Margaret Thatcher was a very famous prime minister of Great Britain. Okay, so famous. Margaret Thatcher was the prime minister of Great Britain, so she must be a citizen of Ireland. Okay, the only way I can know this is if I Google, do you have to be a citizen of Ireland to be the prime minister of Great Britain? Okay. Okay, so this one says Lord Palmerston was the only Irish peer to serve as prime minister, thus leading from the House of Commons. So I think it would be safe to say that the other prime ministers were not Irish. So she must be a citizen of Ireland. That's weak. You're ignoring evidence. True premises, no, and not cognate. Okay. Just want to make sure I wasn't missing something on that, I guess. Okay. Sir Paul McCartney said in an interview about his famous Beatles song, Yesterday, it was entirely magical. I have no idea how I wrote that. I just woke up one morning and it was in my head. I didn't believe it for about 2 weeks. It was the most complete thing I'd ever written. For something that just happened in a dream, even I have to acknowledge that it was a phenomenal stroke of luck. McCartney said that in his dream, he was listening to a tune of a song being played by a classical string ensemble. Sometime later, he wrote the words to the song and had it recorded with a string arrangement just as he heard it in his dream. Okay. Sir Paul McCartney claims the tune to Yesterday was just there one morning in his head when he woke up after dreaming of it being played by a string ensemble. So the song probably didn't come to him the song probably did come to him in dream. There's a typo or something. Okay. One morning in his head when he woke up after dreaming of it being played by a string ensemble. So the song probably did come to him in a dream. I don't know. What would be a deductive argument? Because none of these are deductive. Okay. Or I didn't claim any of them were deductive, at least. So the song probably did come to him in a dream. I mean, it says probably, which is inductive for sure. So let's just go from that. I would say strong and true premises. Yes. And then key evidence ignored. No. So it sounds like a cognate argument. I mean, there's no key evidence ignored, but I can see how potentially, if he were to have taken the song from someone or something like, I'm not saying that this is even probable. I'm just saying then yes, he would come up with something like that to cover it up, but that's just probably my negative side speaking. Okay, so the next one, let's go with, I I loved the last 4 pies I bought from Marie Callender. They were fabulous. The last 4 cherry pies I brought from Marie Callender's restaurant were fabulous. So the next cherry pie I buy will be fabulous too. Inductive, strong, true premises, yes. Key facts ignored, no. And it's a cognate argument. Nothing else really to say about that for sure. Okay, and I think that that's the only thing, right? Yep, to 81. Okay. All right, thank you for watching. I know that I was a little bit flustered, but thank you.